The history of the Carbonari is a history of shadows. One does not simply find them in the clear light of the Piazza del Popolo, but in the half-light of a cave, in the damp echo of a subterranean vault, where the air is thick with the exhalations of stone and the slow, patient drip of water. It is a history written in the pressure of a blindfold against the eyes, in the tremor of a hand clasped in an oath that cannot be spoken aloud. Consider the initiate, led through the labyrinthine streets of some provincial town, perhaps Naples, perhaps Milan, on the cover of a moonless night. He is guided by men whose faces he cannot see, whose voices are muffled by the fabric of their cloaks. They lead him beyond the last inhabited house, beyond the olive groves and the vine trellises, to a place where the earth opens its mouth, a cave, the mouth of the underworld. Here, in this wound in the landscape, the ceremony of unmooring begins. The blindfold is the first instrument of erasure. It cuts the initiate off from the world of appearances, from the reassuring geometry of walls and the familiar constellations of the night sky. He is plunged into a darkness more complete than any natural night, a darkness that has weight and texture. It is the darkness of the womb, but also of the tomb. He hears the scrape of a match, sees a ghostly flame flicker against the limestone walls, a charcoal brazier perhaps glowing with the dull mineral light that gives the Carbonari their name. For they are Carbonari, charcoal burners, men who work in the forests at the edge of the world, tending their smoky pyres in isolation. Their rituals are the rituals of the kiln, of transformation through fire and suffocation. The oath is administered. It is not a simple promise, but a descent into a vertiginous grammar of terror and devotion. The initiate is made to swear upon a dagger, or upon a skull, or upon the cross formed by 2 sticks of charcoal. The words are heavy, freighted with the gravity of blood and retribution. He is told of the punishments that await the betrayer, a slow death, a knife in the dark, the silence of a forgotten grave. His heart races, his palms sweat, his breathing becomes shallow. And this, precisely this, is the purpose. For in this state of heightened fear, of sensory deprivation and physical exhaustion, the old self begins to crumble. The lawyer, the merchant, or the army officer, these are merely costumes, and they are stripped away. What remains is a raw, quivering core, a tabula rasa upon which the brotherhood can inscribe its own commandments. Lord Byron, who underwent such an initiation in a cave near Ravenna, wrote of it with a mixture of bemusement and a certain Gothic thrill. One imagines him, the poet of Childe Harold, the man who had swum the Hellespont and wandered the Aegean, now standing blindfolded in a damp grotto, his aristocratic composure dissolving into a childlike obedience. He allowed himself to be led through the absurd pantomime, the symbolic picks and shovels, the mock execution, the whispered passwords, and emerged, it is said, as a full-fledged member of the Alta Vendita. But one wonders what he truly found there in that cave. Did he find a cause, a brotherhood, or did he find simply a more intense version of the solitude he already knew? The solitude of a man who has seen too much, who has outlived his own illusions, and who seeks, in the darkness of a ritual, a temporary reprieve from the glaring light of his own consciousness. The process is one of exhaustion, as the accounts make clear. The body is fatigued, the mind is besieged, and the will is broken. And in this state of prostration, the new member is made suggestible, pliable. He will believe anything, do anything. He will carry messages across enemy lines and harbor fugitives. He will, if necessary, take a life. His loyalty is not born of conviction, but of a profound, almost biological conditioning, the imprinting of a gosling on the first moving object it sees. The brotherhood becomes his mother, his father, his God. His old life is a dream. This new life, this life of caves and passwords and silent conspiracies, is the only reality. And yet, for all their secrecy, for all their elaborate rituals, the Carbonari were, in the end, a failure. The revolutions of 1820 and 1831 sputtered and died. The foreign rulers remained. The constitutional liberties were not won. The Brotherhood, with its grand titles of Grand Master and Grand Elect, its arcane symbols of the triangle and the compass, its feverish oaths of eternal fidelity, it all dissolved into the damp air of history, leaving behind only a faint odor of charcoal and a scatter of legends. One thinks of the great political prisons of the era, the Spielberg in Moravia, where the captured Carbonari were sent to rot. They sat in their cells, those men who had once stood in caves and sworn to liberate Italy, and they recited their oaths to the damp walls, their voices a faint, hollow murmur. The rituals had made them loyal, yes, loyal unto death. But loyalty, in the end, is not a substitute for victory. It is merely a form of endurance, a way of waiting for a liberation that never comes. Today, the caves are empty, the charcoal burners are gone, the passwords are forgotten, and the history of the Carbonari is reduced to a footnote in a volume on the Risorgimento, read by scholars in well-lit libraries. But the ritual itself, the blindfold, the oath, the stripping away of the self, this ritual continues in different forms, in different places. It is the eternal human ceremony of belonging, the desperate attempt to forge yourself out of the negation of the self. We join secret societies, political parties, religious orders. We surrender our wills to charismatic leaders, to ideologies, to the comforting weight of a uniform. We spin like the whirling dervishes of Konya, seeking to exhaust the body so that the mind might be stilled. And in that stillness, we hope to find meaning. But what we find, I suspect, is only the echo of our own footsteps in a cave and the slow, patient drip of water and stone.